In the huge, sprawling Marvel universe, with all its gods and monsters and heroes, there's one name that just hits different. It's spoken with this wild mix of pure terror and, weirdly enough, respect. So today, we're going to peel back that iconic iron mask and really get to the bottom of the monarch, the sorcerer, the scientist, Doctor Doom. So who is Marvel's most iconic villain? I mean, your mind probably jumps to Thanos, right? Or maybe Magneto. But for years, like for decades, a ton of fans and creators have argued that no, the title of Marvel's ultimate baddie belongs to just one guy. But why him? What's the big deal? Okay, let's get into it. So, is he really Marvel's ultimate villain? We're about to break down exactly why he's always, and I mean always, at the very top of those greatest villains of all time lists. And just a heads up, this isn't about who can punch the hardest. Oh no, it's way, way deeper than that.
See, to really get Doom, you gotta understand he's not just some bad guy the Fantastic Four fight every other Tuesday. He's a legend. He is a core foundational piece of the entire Marvel cosmos. He's this epic, tragic figure, and his story is just as compelling as any hero's. And here's the kicker. In his own mind, he's not the villain. He's the hero. And that belief, that is what makes him so unbelievably dangerous.
Okay, so let's hit rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Before the armor, before he was a king on a throne, there was just a man, Victor Von Doom. And honestly, his story is the absolute key to understanding everything about him. All right, so he first pops up way back in 1962, a creation of the absolute legends Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And Victor's story is a classic tragedy, He was a brilliant genius, but his ambition just curdled. It turned into this dangerous, all-consuming obsession with getting ultimate power and knowledge. That obsession led him down a very dark path, making a deal with forces he really shouldn't have, a pact that scarred him for life. But did he crumble? Nope. He took that scar, that pain, and he literally forged it into a new identity, seized control of his homeland, and became the monarch we know today. And this right here, this is what separates him from almost every other villain out there. Latveria. He isn't just some supervillain hiding out in a secret lair. He's a head of state, a king. He has diplomatic immunity. In his eyes, he's the nation's protector. And you know what? By many accounts, his people are safe, they're fed, they're cared for. This just adds an insane layer of political and moral complexity that most villains just don't have. I mean, think about it. How do you just invade a country to take out one man, even if that man is Dr. Doom? This one was everything. His search for forbidden secrets left his face disfigured. But here's the ultimate psychological twist. In many tellings of the story, the scar itself is tiny, almost insignificant. But to Victor, to his massive ego and his obsessive perfectionism, it was a catastrophic flaw. So what does he do? He forges an intimidating mask and a full suit of armor. He's not just hiding a scar from the world, he's hiding his own perceived failure. He didn't just build a suit of armor, he built a prison for his own pride. Okay, so we've got the tragic backstory down, but what actually makes him a threat that can go toe-to-toe with, the whole universe? Let's break down his unique and, frankly, terrifying skill set. Here it is. This is what makes him so uniquely dangerous. He is a threefold threat. He's not a one-trick pony. He's got the genius-level intellect to challenge Reed Richards. He's got the mastery of magic to rival Doctor Strange. And he's got the technological skill to out-invent Tony Stark. It's this impossible combination of ancient sorcery and bleeding-edge science that makes him almost unbeatable. I mean, how do you even begin to plan for a guy like that? So yeah, this table really lays it all out, doesn't it? His power comes from the two heaviest hitters in the Marvel playbook, magic and technology. His motivation isn't just greed or chaos, it's this deep, messianic conviction that only he has the brains and the will to save humanity from its own foolishness. And that list of foes, it's basically a roll call of Marvel's greatest heroes. But he doesn't just fight them. A lot of the time, he flat out outthinks them. So the most crucial thing to take away is this. It's not just about the powers. It's about the man inside that armor. He has this This bizarre, twisted code of honor. For real. If Doctor Doom gives you his word, he will keep it, even if it hurts him to do so. It's this wild contradiction, this core belief that he is the only one fit to rule the world for its own good, that gives him this compelling, almost Shakespearean depth. It's what makes him truly unforgettable. Now, with all of this incredible, rich history, the entire fan community is absolutely buzzing. Why? Because after years and years of waiting, it seems Doctor Doom is finally coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a big way. And man, oh man, that brings up some huge questions. This is the big one. After Thanos, the MCU needs a new narrative anchor, right? A new big bad. So, will they position Doom to be that guy? He's one of the only characters left who has the sheer gravitas, the intellect, and the long-term potential to be the focus of an entire saga. Making him the main villain would signal a huge shift, away from cosmic, universe-ending threats, and towards something more political, more psychological, and you could argue, a lot more complex. So, will he team up with people? Well, Doom is famous for his uneasy alliances, but let's be crystal clear about something. In Doom's mind, he has no equals. He has no partners, he only has temporary tools. He sees everyone else as beneath him. But he is a pragmatist. So, can you just imagine him manipulating other MCU villains? Or even tricking heroes into a temporary truce just to serve his own hidden agenda? His arrival wouldn't just add a new villain to the roster, it would destabilize the entire power structure of the MCU.
But maybe the most important question for fans is this one. Will the movies get him? Will they capture his depth? Because look, it's one thing to have a cool-looking guy in a suit of armor. It's a completely different thing to portray the monarch who genuinely loves his people, the sorcerer who literally goes to hell every single year to fight a demon for his mother's soul, and the scientist whose ego is so big he thinks he can improve on creation itself. The biggest fear is that he'll just be simplified into another CGI bad guy, losing the very soul of what makes him great.
So after digging into his origins, his powers, and his potential future on screen, let's circle all the way back to our original question. What is it that truly makes Doctor Doom Marvel's greatest villain?
So here's the final verdict. It's the perfect storm of villainy. He has the raw power of a god. He has the tragic Shakespearean backstory of a fallen hero. And he has a deeply complex, honor-bound personality that makes him so much more than just evil. He doesn't want to destroy the world. He wants to rule it. Because in his vast, magnificent intellect, he genuinely believes he is its only true savior. And that is a terrifyingly compelling idea. And that leaves us with one last tantalizing question. The source material is all there. Decades of stories have crafted one of the most legendary characters in all of comic book history. The potential is absolutely immense. So now we just have to wait and see if the cinematic universe can finally capture the true, terrifying, and complicated majesty of Doom. What do you think is the one thing they absolutely have to get right?